Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and inspire joy. Be empowered to balance your mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. If Joy, and I'm here to help you transform life's challenges into opportunities for joy. Let's begin the journey together. Hello, welcome to episode 162, The Hidden Habits That Protect Your Joy. And I have a very special guest tonight, and that is Dr. Jen Olabisi, and she is a psychiatrist just like myself. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thanks for letting me slide into your DMs and say, hey, I need you on my podcast. That's exactly what I said.
I'm honored, and it's always nice to connect with another, psychiatrist, another woman doing this, so thank you.
Yay, awesome. Well, tell us more about yourself other than psychiatrist. What kind of psychiatrist you work in, and what else you do outside of psychiatry?
So, I'm a general psychiatrist, so I'm board certified, but that means I didn't do any specialty fellowship, and I'm kind of eclectic. I find that I get, bored easily, and this career field is so diverse in experiences,
Mhm.
and not only the patients we work with, so
Yeah.
In my career, I've worked like various settings, inpatient, corrections,
Mhm.
VA, and that's currently where I am right now with working with the veterans,
Mhm.
which is pretty rewarding. However, outside of work, in terms of maintaining my own health and wellness, I really love hiking. Like
Mhm.
just connecting with nature helps me feel grounded,
Mhm.
and then, traveling. I got to get out as much as possible, see the world out there.
Is there such thing as too much travel, Dr. Olabisi?
Never if you ask me, because, I mean, it can be
Good.
as simple for some people going around the block, and that's, makes their day. So, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's turning into a regular for my husband and I. It's like
Mhm.
I was gonna talk about parenting stress later, but it's like with the parenting stress, it's we just have to we gotta get away. We
Yes,
need to. Even if it
recharge.
is just a date night, but like a recharge, reset, a whole trip, it's
Mhm,
very important. That's for
mhm.
sure. Awesome. Well, it looks like you've done, quite a bit. I know I've, done a lot, mostly outpatient, but if you count my on-call job, that is inpatient. I do consults, so, emergency, patients as well as inpatient, but I just feel like that's like a side gig, you know? But it counts.
Meaningful, don't put it like second tier, it's still
I
meaningful
know.
work.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's very meaningful, that's for sure. Yeah. So we're talking about our hidden habits to protect our joy. So first of all, what does joy mean to you?
Oh, that's a huge question.
Mhm.
I will say joy for me is kind of like a consistent contentment.
Mm.
And I differentiate it from, like, happiness, which to me fleets
Mhm.
is fleeting, comes and goes.
Mhm.
Joy to me is just like a consistent contentment regardless of external circumstances. That's how
Mhm.
I define, or even internal circumstances. That's how I define joy. And the other buzzword, you hear happiness alongside that, which I tend to think of as being, like, episodic and
Mhm.
or spikes, if you will.
That's good. It's like you've been watching, the last 3 years of Journey to Joy Live, 'cause that's exactly what I say. Like, happiness is an emotion. I think joy extends to, like, a choice, and it's definitely, like, this consistency there, this, like,
Mhm.
hidden peace and contentment despite what's going on around you,
Yes.
and that's true despite what's going on inside you. Because maybe it's despite cancer, maybe it's despite the depression that you actually have, and, a couple of weeks ago, I made a joke about how on our we were out of town on our family trip, and the whole family just kinda adopted the whole mantra of choose joy,"
Oh,
and
I
so
love it.
everybody just kept saying it was kinda funny, but it's, like, true, but they were just like, "In the face of depression, choose joy." But it's like, you could actually do that.
You can, when you said the family trip, my daughter recently, I was, like, recording a video with her
Mhm.
talking about she's going to middle school, so we're talking about mental health for that age range, and
Mhm.
she goes, and at the end, she goes, "Alright, guys, remember, don't be depressed, stay happy." It's like,
There it is.
that's not the message, but okay.
Because obviously there's the people where that kinda works, where it's like, "Okay, I can choose it." But then
Yeah.
there's the people where it's like, "How dare you tell me to do that? I have clinical
Yeah.
depression, I have a imbalance, how can I do that?" But it's all in, like, the methods, it's all in what you do, and I've been talking about how, choosing to go get therapy, choosing to be on a medication when you find it works for you, choosing to stay consistent in that exercise, so that's also the choice too.
Yeah, yeah, you make me think of, like, behavioral activation, one
Mhm.
principles of cognitive behavioral therapy, and I use it a lot outside of that, and it's just basically in spite of not feeling like doing something, take a small step, do something, and you have to make that choice even when there's odds against you or voices or your own thoughts saying, "Don't do it." Activate yourself, so to speak.
Yeah, behavioral activation, that's the biggest one. It's like putting the cart before the horse because people are like, "Well, I just don't feel
Mhm.
like it. I don't wanna go to the gym." Well, you'll feel like it once you're there. Like, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things we don't feel like doing. How many people hit the snooze button on their alarm clock because they don't feel like waking up, right?
Yeah, you're hitting home, yes, every morning.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, especially after, I was telling you when you hit me up a couple weeks ago, I was like, "I'm out of town." Last week was a lot, trying to get back into the groove because I was jet lagged and I was not getting up to my alarm clock at
Yeah.
all, but you just kinda have to eventually.
Where'd you guys go, by the way?
Oh, we were in Colombia for, our family trip, so the kids were there, that was a Choose Joy trip, and so we were an hour back, so just an hour back, but then I went to Vegas, which is 3 hours behind,
I
but I
see.
was by myself without the kids, but it's busy, 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 so
You got a 2 for 1.
I did, but that's the thing, they always say you need a vacation from the vacation, but having 2 weeks away, I can't have a couple days coming back, I was already away too long?
Yeah, true, true.
Yeah, so I'm, like, the number one person where it comes to, like, I'm off, but then when I'm back, I'm back, and
I
that's a big mistake.
I slow roll it, like, the first day I'm not there, the second day you get a little bit, and then by day 3, I'm all ready to go, but you're
That's
right,
good.
vacation from the vacation.
Mhm, exactly. So we talk about hidden habits, and I know you wanted to discuss habits, like, for self-preservation, habits to increase energy, I mean, because a lot of times people are really tired, and, oh my goodness, I see so many patients who can't sleep.
Yes.
So as far as energy preservation, what are some habits to protect energy?
Well, it's probably things a lot of common things that people are already familiar with,
Mhm,
but, easier to say, harder to implement.
mhm,
Number 1, I think, is consistency.
mhm,
So and I mentioned that earlier, consistency. So basic is consistent, ideal, consistent wake up time, ideally consistent bedtime. And
mhm,
even if you're have insomnia, you wanna take a nap middle of the day, at least be consistent with that too, or
mm,
a shorter duration is preferred, but consistency, I think, is key because our circadian rhythms run off of schedules.
mhm,
It run off of unpredictability, so when you are not following consistency, that, of course, messes that up.
mhm.
Um, so I think consistency is key. Obviously, a lot of Americans, we don't pay attention to our diet as well as we should.
Oh my gosh.
In fact,
Yeah.
I had grabbed a sugary drink, and then I was like, "Oh, shoot, let me put that down, let me get my tea." It's a little
Mm.
so, we being intentional about what we put into our bodies, processed foods obviously are gonna deplete your energy or not support, vitality, but that's hard to do. Like I said, some of this is easier said than
Yeah,
done. Uh,
yeah.
movement, key, and with my population that I work with, I have a lot of geriatric patients, so I
Mhm.
move
Yeah.
and they're like, "But I can't do this, and my back aches, and my knees." Okay, we're gonna modify things a little bit. There is some type of movement you can do. There's these pedal pushers you can do at home. There's
Nice.
always something, but part of that is gonna help not only your physical health and, getting your cardiovascular system activated, but ideally or that fatiguing your muscles promotes exhaustion, which might ultimately help you sleep a little bit
Yeah.
better too. Sound
Mhm.
improves your energy. It's like a cycle.
Yes, yes. Definitely the movement helps for sure and being consistent with that. And for some people, exercising at night helps them fall asleep because it tires them out. And for others, they have to do it in the morning, but that still helps them get a good night's sleep at the end of the day because it starts them off with a very productive day. I have a patient where that's pretty much the sole reason she sees me is insomnia. And we've been going through different medications. And we just really had a heart to heart about okay, what are the therapeutic techniques that we need to do and
Yeah,
she does work really hard with a good sleep routine, but it's just like at some point you gotta get into the cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. Like, okay, what is it that needs to change mentally and practically that can help with your sleep? This is not all about the medication. Um,
exactly.
but yeah, I'm also glad that you mentioned diets. That's so important.
It is, and it's like the forgotten about part because, I
Mm,
mean, it's so much easier to grab the bag of chips and candy, we all like that and that our country's kinda set up that way, but
mhm,
honestly, that goes against a lot of helping our mental health and definitely physical health.
mhm. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, yeah, definitely important what you put in your body and also the time that you eat. I know when I was in Bolivia, they don't eat dinner. It's like most of the restaurants were closed at dinner time. Like, what's going on? Because digestion, depending on how much you eat, and it's like 11 p.m., you just ate all this hot, spicy food and you can't get to sleep. So that's things to think about too. It's
Of
like
course.
how many hours before going to bed should you stop eating?
Yeah, and that's one of the principles they teach in CBTI too, like, basic sleep hygiene that falls aligned.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's awesome. Now, when you give like psychoeducation, as we call it, with the either with incorporating CBTI or sleep hygiene, do you have like a spiel that you tell patients? Like for people who are listening, like, "Ooh, I got two psychiatrists. What can I hear? What can I learn right now?"
I have, like so I have this thing that I feel people only hear about 20% of what you're saying. I don't know that that's true, but, I find longer conversations and they miss half of what I've said if I review it with them later. So
Oh,
my
well.
especially at where I'm working now, but my
Ooh.
full spiel is, okay, basics. Are you watching TV at night? Are you on your
Mm,
phone? Okay, if you're doing either of those, we need to put the phone away to where you have to walk to get it, not on the nightstand, but a distance away. We need to turn that TV off, as you mentioned earlier, making sure there's no meals, ideally 2 hours or more before bedtime, same
okay.
for liquids. So the basic sleep hygiene stuff, and then I remind them to, your bedroom should only be for sleep and sex.
Yep.
Not for homework, not for,
Scrolling.
long chats with your friends. Your
Mm-hmm.
bed should only be for those 2 things because you wanna create an environment that's conducive to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, that's a dark room, serene feeling, so you wanna, try to create that ambiance if you can, even with your decor, but if not, dark room and only using it for those 2 sole purposes. Those are the general things that I start people off with. But, as you go along, you want them to kinda track their sleep and journal it out and those principles, that's getting more into CBTI, though.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, that's good. I mean, sometimes you do need to journal things out, not even tell people reading. Read something boring. I mean, because sometimes when you're reading something boring, you get tired. It's like, "Okay, where's that boring book?"
Mhm. Yes. Uh-huh, or
And put
something
it
s some soothing sounds, like, YouTube has these black screens with rain sounds, things like that can or a sound
Mhm.
machine, things like that
Mhm.
can supplement it too.
And I literally just learned about my BFF has these, I call them blindfolds, but it's a sleep mask. She has a
Oh,
sleep mask that has headphones in 'em, obviously not this big, it's, like, really flat, but it's literally like flat earbuds, and
uh-huh,
you can listen to music, obviously, it blacks out, the light, and
right.
so that helps her sleep, and, I'm like, "Wow, I just heard of this," but it seems like it would be helpful for many people.
Mhm,
You
like
take black
a modification of the, plain old sleep mask, like an upgraded level.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And consistency is key. Always having that bedtime routine, like you said. And, there are some things that you might need to do that's just not sustainable. Like for me, I cannot wait to get on my 9 a.m. flight tomorrow and wake up at 5 a.m. to get to that. This morning, I posted a reel about how I got up at 2 a.m. to wake up my husband for his flight. Then I got up at 5:30 to wake up my 15-year-old. And then I got up at 6:20 to say, "Okay, are you ready? Go out the door." Then I got up at 7. People are like, "Wait, why are you doing this?" These people are fully
Yes.
capable of waking themselves up. I'm like, "I was just excited about my upcoming trip." And, that's not something I do every day. I cannot do
Oh,
that every
yeah.
day.
That doesn't sound sustainable, no.
Not at all, but, and I made it through the day with, interestingly enough, high energy. But yeah, no, you can't do things like that, and I'm always talking to the wife, mom, boss, because that's the woman doing everything for everyone, and when you continue to do that and it's not sustainable, that's where burnout comes.
Burnout, and I would mention secondarily, lack of sleep and all the effects it has on your immune system, your cardiovascular system, not just overnight,
Mhm.
insomnia here or there, but broken sleep, over the long term is so catastrophic for your health, you know?
Mhm. I don't know the time, but if you go so many days or months, I guess it has to be months, you die. Like, you literally need
Mm,
sleep.
mhm,
Super important.
a basic need, yeah.
Yeah, so we spent so much time talking about sleep, and we mentioned movement. How often do you find yourself moving?
Well, not as much as I should, but what I've been more recently doing, so I used to be, like, full in the gym, um,
Mhm.
obviously, with some of the, changes in, like, our work rules, that's not it's a little bit more challenging. So, what
Mhm.
I personally try to do,
Mhm.
on my breaks at work, I'll walk outside even though it's, like, 90 degrees. I love the sunshine. I know I need some sunshine. It promotes alertness after, you had your lunch and you're ready to fall
Mhm.
asleep at work. It helps me with that. So, I walk around. I try to do it at least 3 times a day, 15 minutes each. When I get home, me and the kids will walk or we'll ride our bikes together. That's how I incorporate movement
Good.
on a consistent basis. Occasionally, we'll go swimming and things like that, but for the most part, I'm just a walker nowadays, I must admit.
No, that's ideal. I mean, that's what moms need to hear, dads, or whoever's busy that's listening. That's what they need to hear because if you're listening for like, "Oh, I go to the gym 3 hours, I get up at 4 AM every day," that may not be sustainable. I say may because maybe for some it is, but
Right.
for the everyday person, it isn't, and so we are looking for strategies to incorporate in our everyday life, like you incorporating the kids, but at work, between patients. I know I definitely have to do that. Like, for some reason on Tuesdays, I'm always doing all 3 of my jobs at once where I
Mhm.
have private practice patients scheduled, I do my admin work for my community mental health job, and then I'm on call. So, like, I didn't even leave the house that day, and I noticed, like, after come afternoon, I'm, like, getting like, "Ugh." So I was like, "Oh, wait, I haven't seen the sun." So I went outside. I feel like my husband's created, like, this whole therapeutic environment out there. He's got a
Oh,
whole
nice.
he's the green thumb.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
He got a whole little fountain out there, so I just went out there for even 5 minutes is enough, so
Mhm.
gotta catch
Yeah,
yourself.
and that sunlight technically will boost, your energy or at least a sense of it for a little while anyway, so that helps too.
Oh, yeah, it does something, like, it's not even that I mean, I don't think it's increasing the vitamin D that quick, so
No.
it's something else it's doing, right? That's just, like, so therapeutic and necessary for your body.
It'd be nice if it did work on the vitamin D, like,
Yeah,
that way, just get
yeah.
5 minutes a day. We'd be doing that instead of the prescriptions for vitamin D.
Exactly, like, just go
Mm.
outside.
Yeah.
So, your mom, I mean, in fact, that's your tag, the doc mom of 2. You
Yeah.
mentioned you have one going to middle school. How old are your, children?
6 and 12, 2
6
girls.
and girl mom meets boy mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, mine are 3, 5, and 15. So my high
Oh,
schooler, it's crazy that he's going to high school. He just started ninth grade.
that's
But
exciting.
it's exciting. I love my boys. It's so foreign to even think about having a daughter. What's it like having girls?
That is so foreign. I just like having girls. I mean, I had always actually wanted only girls. I have prayed for only girls despite growing up here hearing
Oh.
boys are easier, that was like the socialized message, but I just always wanted girls so that I could vibe out in a traditional girly way.
Yeah.
But my oldest is a tomboy. She
Oh,
is the
wow.
furthest thing from nails and hair and all that. But what I love about that experience is it's opened me up to enjoying, maybe traditional male-dominated things like sports, karate, boxing,
Great.
all that, and if it weren't for my daughter, honestly, I would have nothing to do with these things, and it's actually a lot of fun.
That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, my youngest, she's more like princess vibe, main character energy, so she kinda makes up for what I had in mind when having children.
That's interesting because I have that in my youngest boys, the 5-year-old, rainbows, unicorns, Hello Kitty, drawing all the things, and the 3-year-old, dinosaurs and Spider-Man and monster trucks and crashing things. It's just
Crush.
that's so interesting, the difference. But, yeah, parenting. So I always refer back couple years ago, I think at this point, the Surgeon General released an article that said that parenting is hazardous to mental health. And it's like, that wasn't surprising, but just to see it in words.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And my whole algorithm for Instagram is all these parents either pretending to be their toddlers and making it funny or just, all these parodies about like how stressful it is. The most recent one I saw, this lady is just like, oh my god. How did I ever think I was equipped to have all these kids? It's so stressful to have these kids, all of these kids, and at the end she says, "By the way, I have 2 kids."
No, that is a lot.
So this is what I'm transitioning to. So we talked about the hidden habits in general, like, maybe you don't have anybody dependent on you, but how do you do it as a mom when parenting is hazardous to your mental health?
Well, I think, coming into I wasn't aware of that Surgeon General statement, but having awareness of that, I think all the more you have to be intentional and implement planning and decision makings to protect yourself. And it comes back to consistency. So when I'm talking to people about, the buzzword self-care, a lot of
Mhm.
moms will say, "Oh yeah, I get my hair and nails done, every
Mhm.
2 weeks." Okay,
Mhm.
that's a form of self-care, but is it really
Yeah.
rejuvenating you sitting in the
Yeah.
salon, under the dryer, all that? So, I think key is finding something that's rejuvenating to you, something that's enjoyable, and it has to be protected time, non-negotiable. I think
Yeah.
that's a start.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. And so when you're saying that, I was thinking 'cause I literally just got my nails done, like, 2 hours ago. And
That
so I was thinking that 'cause when I was sitting in the chair, she's giving me a massage, I was like, "I get massages every time I come here. Massages are self-care." But for some reason, I don't think of getting my nails done as like, "Ooh, I'm about to get a massage." So
Mhm.
but I was cherishing it, and I some gratefulness. I had to activate some great 'cause I was like, this is some good time. There's no kids here. I'm not
Yes.
working. Sometimes I go when I'm working too, but, that's also spaced out. I go, like, every 3 to 4 weeks. So you gotta have something that you implement each day, and so my premise is put yourself back on the priority list. What does that mean for you as a mom to put yourself on the priority list?
For me, you mean like how I implement that daily? Is that gonna
You can answer however you want.
So, I with my husband, I communicate with him, today, like Mondays are traditionally hard, and he knows Mondays I need give me 30 minutes when I, get home, just let me
Mhm.
decompress,
Mm,
that's like my busiest day of the week.
mhm.
So, I guess communicating on the front end to your partner or even to your children. Now, depending on their ages, they may not, understand mommy needs 30 minutes, but somehow communicating that up front, especially when you anticipate this is something I'm going to need or this is something I think I'm going to need. That's one thing that I personally do. And then after the kids go to bed, I think a lot of moms, aside from scrolling on the phones,
Yeah.
catching up with a friend. I do my gratitude journal at night. I write like 3 things I'm grateful for. That's my general practice to promote joy and wellness.
Mhm.
I got a massage chair, hot tub, those help. So,
Ooh.
well, I was spending too much on these awesome massages. They're like 150 each time. So I thought,
Yeah.
get a chair. It'll pay for
Okay.
itself. So, just little things here and there, but that take small increments of time each day, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. Well, let's keep it real, and you can answer this however you want, to your comfort level. You mentioned after the kids go to bed, that's when you journal and think about your joy. What about wife stuff? Is this before or after the wife stuff? Because
This
that's the thing about the wife, mom, boss. The kids go to bed, the husband over there like, okay, I'm ready.
Yes, yes, I think that's so common. I think, this is beforehand, and that's one I mean, it's different for every couple, but I think you have to communicate even, to your husband, like, maybe Mondays or your wife, "Mondays, it's off the table. I can't like, mentally, I cannot go there." But being intentional, again, about the communication or Wednesday night is our date night. That might make things a little bit easier because we'll have a sitter, we already have good vibes on the date, etc. But it can be variable and depend on like how the day went, how the week went.
Exactly. Yeah. And wife duties isn't always sex, but I mean, I have a few episodes about, sex being self-care and trying to reframe that because maybe if sex is so awesome for you, then you excited to get into bed too, that kind of thing. But I know for me, after I put the kids down, if I didn't work out yet, it's workout time. I'm getting on the
Mhm.
treadmill. Even it's been getting dark a little earlier lately. I might go outside and it starts to get dark. I'm running out at night. I got to get that in. And
Yeah.
then it involves also with the wifey time, Netflix. We might have a show, Married at First Sight or something like that. So now we watching that until midnight, and then it's the other stuff. I'm like, "Okay, we can't do this every night."
Yeah. I'm
Where's the sleep?
staying up past 1 a.m. days. I think those days are over for me. Is not I used to do it with ease and go to work, go to wherever, be ready, but nowadays, that doesn't fly for me
Not
anymore, but
sustainable.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm only in my 30s. I didn't know this
Really?
would happen
Okay.
at this age, but it's there, so I think
Mhm.
communicating, his needs, you obviously or her needs, your partner's needs, you wanna meet them, you wanna satisfy both you and the other party, but, fitting that in, sometimes it's a challenge.
Yeah. But that's really good to check in with your spouse, like, "How can I support you next week? What went well last week?" And, what you do on Mondays, I just need a half hour, and that's not even a lot, but to you, it's what works for you,
Right.
and you communicated that. And so, supporting each other's and their self-care endeavors, like my husband, for instance, he's a kid in a candy store when it comes to going to a baseball stadium. That's where he's at right now. He wants
Ah,
to see all 30 stadiums. Today, he went to the 29th. Tomorrow, I get to meet up with him to do the 30th stadium.
wow,
So I'm
cool.
excited. I'm finally invited, but it's usually a me time trip or he's with a guy friend or something like that.
Mm,
But I support that. People were like, "You by yourself without your wife? Your wife at home? She let you do that?" Yeah, let him do that.
mm,
We home for maybe one night, you know?
mhm,
So it's good to support, and he lets me spend my money on my little half marathons that I do or whatever trip I might wanna take or going off to run. So it's good to support each other, or else how do you do it?
exactly. I mean, you're in the same boat together.
Mhm.
I do also, I should have mentioned, self-care trips, maybe, like they used to be quarterly, now they're, like, twice a year, and I'll either go somewhere, like a neighboring state or
Uh-huh.
locally and just go somewhere for 3, 4 days just by myself. Oh,
Wow.
I'm introverted, so rejuvenating.
Oh,
But my husband, he used to think I was crazy for doing that, like, why would you take a trip
by
by yourself?"
yourself.
Well, I eventually, over, like, maybe 3, 4 years, convinced him to finally do it, and now he cannot get enough. So he does the
Yeah.
same thing, solo trip. He went to
Wow.
Canada, for his, and that's just another small way we try to look out for each other.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've definitely obviously, before I was married, did solo trips, and now the only solo trips I do are like a psych conference, APA, ACAP, or something like that. And
Mhm.
for me, it's still rejuvenating because 'cause I'm away from my wife, mom duties,
Right.
and I'm a nerd when it comes to going to those conferences and learning more. But yeah, I haven't, brought myself to do like a 4-day retreat by myself because I feel like if I'm gonna do it, I want the hubby to come. It's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own
Yeah.
sorta thing. For me, I'm always been introverted, so I recharge when I'm alone. Now, as
Ooh.
a wife, mom, physician, how much alone time do you really get unless you pre-plan for
Mhm.
it? So it's like a
Mm-mm.
total mental reset for me.
Yeah. No, that's true. Because I think today was the first time I was at home by myself in a long time. Because the kids were out, he's out. And I'm like, over here working. My mom said, "Are you going crazy?" I was like, "This is great. No,
I
it's nice
know.
to be my I can do what I want."
I know the feeling. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. So any other habits that we didn't talk about as far as, like, creating joy for the wife, creating joy for the mom?
We didn't talk about this, but I think the children themselves, depending on the phase, I take a lot of joy in that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure a lot of parents can relate. So if you have more than one child or even just the one, but for me, I'm looking at my youngest, I'm like, "Oh, she's getting so big," and I'm missing, like, when she used to I could hold her, do this, do that,
Wow.
and that in and of itself is, like, joy for me.
Beautiful. Mhm,
So
mhm.
even just, like, savoring those moments with your children,
Yep.
whether that's, taking pictures, who doesn't do that? We all have, these phones, but one cool thing I picked up from a friend years back, his mom had wrote, like, journal entries from birth till, like, maybe 17 years old, and it wasn't daily.
Ooh.
It was
Okay.
just, like, 3 or 4 times a year,
Mhm.
"How much I love you," or "You learned to ride your bike today," and that's so cool that I was sitting there with him as a teenager reading this together. I'm like, "Oh, that's so thoughtful." So, one thing I think on this journey of parenthood anyways is to try to savor the joyful moments with your kids, because they are fleeting. The stress is real, and it's gonna be there, but there's also some tender moments too.
I think another way of saying that is gratitude.
Yeah,
Practicing the gratitude is so important. It's one of the fluffy topics, but it's so real. And I feel like gratitude can get you through almost anything. Like I say all the time that parenting is both a really amazing joy and a really severe stressor at the same time.
right.
And, I've gone through a couple miscarriages, and when I get some stress, I have to remember that, like, "Look what I went through. I thought I wasn't gonna have any kids. This is such a blessing." You have to tell yourself that,
Yeah.
but escaping and I won't say what it stands for, but, FTK trips are kind of important as well. You look, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about
Yeah,
it.
I'm like,
I'll tell you offline.
okay, okay, because I can.
Fun No, I was gonna try to make up what the F word what the F is, but let's just say it's not fun, but fun the kids. Okay.
Oh, yes, 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 I got you.
You
Okay.
know, yeah, so FTK trips are important. Hear it from the child psychiatrist. It's very important.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah, we have our family trips and then, we go ahead and book a couples trip. We did that. We're going in a month. We're just like, yeah, yeah, if you can do
Wow,
it, do it. Uh,
yes.
or or small dates. It doesn't have to always be about a trip too. So
Mhm. But just connecting together, without distraction.
exactly. But like you said, it's important to savor those moments too, because you really don't want to just be having the kids with the nanny all the time or with extended family members. And now you turn around, you're like, oh, wait, those moments, where are they? You do
Mhm.
want those moments. So yeah, trying to ask yourself, well, why is it always stressful? That's a good question to ask too.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. And I said, a month ago as well is that, exercise and self-care makes you a nice parent.
Yeah, less irritable and your fuse is a little bit longer when you have that buffer already built in. Yeah,
Yeah.
that checks out.
Exactly, for sure. So, we talked about a lot, and I feel like I kinda got in grasp on this, but I always ask all my guests, what's your own personal journey to joy been like?
Oh, topsy-turvy, up and down. I don't know how to quite answer that one, but I would just say it's
Yes.
not been linear. It's
Yeah.
That's for sure. The things I thought would bring joy or happiness, certainly haven't turned out the way I would have anticipated. But like with most things in life, everything's a process.
Mhm.
And if you focus on not necessarily always the end goal, but the journey and the twists and turns, you find joy even in those moments that seemed upside down or frustrating.
Yep.
You can look back in hindsight and see joy in those too.
Yeah, yeah. It takes work, and especially reframing your mind. I say that all the time. It's just how you reframe the perspective surrounding it. You can always pull joy from any situation.
Yes. Yes. Joy and a learning lesson too. Yes.
Mhm, mhm. Exactly. Yep, and that's where the resilience comes from. Well, anything else you want to share with the audience tonight when it comes to the hidden secrets or the hidden habits that protect our joy?
Not that I can think of. Like I said earlier, I appreciate you for doing this. I think your podcast and your platform's awesome. And I'm glad we connected because I feel like there's so much I am learning from your socials and learn from you. And
Oh.
this is great just to be here. But I don't have much else for the audience.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Olabisi. It was really great to have you. And if you want to find her, she can be found at the Doc Mom of Two, because she's a physician and a mom, but you're also a wife.
Yes, my mom got on me for that. You need to put wife in there.
Yeah, did you so well, you probably didn't see it yet because it's gonna be on my, wait, this has the thing on it, the little demo. But this I actually have, a book. Let me get this off the screen. There we go. Inspire Joy for the Wife, Mom, Boss. So that's one of my books. I
Amazing.
released it, oh my god, a year ago already. Jeez.
That's
I
so
feel like I don't promote my books that much.
This is a perfect no, can you hold it up more? The title
Yes.
wife wife, mom, boss. Okay, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yes, inspired joy for the wife, mom, boss, balancing it all without losing yourself. So it goes through 5 tenets like as the mental health, the physical health, the
Mhm.
financial health, social health, and aspirational health. So like your values and things like that. Because a lot of times we lose ourselves in our roles, but it goes through not only just like practical tips, but how I dealt with that. I've got some moments from journal entries in the book as well. So people who have read it said it's a page turner.
Oh, thank you. I will look into it. Where's it available at?
It's available at drenjoylife.com.
Okay.
Well, it's also on Amazon. You can go to Amazon. Anybody who's listening, you can go to Amazon, but you can also get an autographed version on my website. So you get that along with the Enjoyno for $45, the Joy bundle, or a separate one. So,
I love it.
yeah. So thank you for listening and thank you for coming on the show, Doc.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.
This has been an Enjoy Life production. If you're in a crisis, don't hesitate. Call, text, or chat 988 for immediate support. Please note, this podcast is for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional treatment. If you're looking for therapy or medication management through Enjoy Life, visit www.drenjoylife.com to request a consultation. I'm licensed in 13 states. I accept Aetna in Georgia, Florida, and Virginia. Be sure to grab your copy of the Enjoy Note to help you on your wellness journey. Also, check out Inspire Joy for the wife, mom, boss to help you balance it all without losing yourself. Better yet, get the full Joy bundle for just $45. Remember, Journey to Joy Live is every Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, may you continue to transform stress into joy.
Love that. Okay.
Oh, thanks for hanging